Hello everybody, and thank you for clicking on the video. I'm going to talk today about using 22s as training guns for self-defense. I'm not a fan of them. Thank you for clicking on the video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is like the 7th time I've tried to record this, so I'm a little punchy. Anyway, I'm a big fan of using 22s as a training gun overall, and I want to go into a little bit more detail for doing that for self-defense. It is a completely different thing than teaching a new shooter safety and marksmanship. Completely different. I watch and have witnessed a number of people who use 22 long rifles as a training gun for self-defense. And they fall into several pitfalls or kind of sand traps there. And I want to go over the main ones. Number one, is thinking that using their Ruger Mark III is a good simulation for their Glock 17. I'll even do one better. Your Glock 43. It's not. They have nothing in common. They don't feel the same. They don't have the same sight picture. They don't use the same holsters. They really are not a good training gun for that. They are an excellent competition gun. They are an excellent gun to practice and learn marksmanship skills with. But other than that, they're not really good for self-defense training. And that's what we're talking about specifically. Smith & Wesson Victory, same problem. They are not a terribly good training gun for self-defense. They have nothing in common with your SIG 365. Sorry guys, don't do it. They breed bad habits. They've got nice triggers, they've got nice sights. They tend to be built far more ergonomic than a lot of carry guns. Your carry guns are built specifically for carry. They're meant to be comfortable for concealed carry. These sights, they ain't comfortable when they're digging into your side. So keep that in mind. So they tend to be more ergonomic. They tend to be abnormally long. This is a Smith & Wesson 17 and 22 long rifle. That really has absolutely nothing in common with your Springfield Hellcat. Sorry. Or let's even be a little less absurd. This has very little in common with your Smith & Wesson J-frame. So keep that in mind. It has little to no felt recoil and has, you know, better triggers, better sights, and it weighs a lot. So even if you're doing transitions between targets, which is a good exercise too, by the way, with that heavy beast, going from a target over here to a target over there, if your range allows, having to get there as fast as you can, stop, and then come back is a good rotational exercise, which we all know I'm a big fan of exercise. I'm a bigger fan of pizza. Beside that, conversion kits. I have a Glock 17 here, and I have a conversion kit for it. This company. You take the slide assembly off, lay it down, take the conversion kit slide assembly, put it on, unload a 22 mag. That would be magazine, not magnum. And you've got a 22. These are a lot better than the other ones I showed because it fits in the same holster. It has the exact same trigger. Magazines fit in your magazine pouch. Cool! You still run the risk of getting into bad habits as far as grip and stance. Those are the two real big ones with the conversion kit. The three real big ones overall is grip, stance, and trigger. These 22s that I already showed, the Victory and the Ruger Mark II and 3s, they have really nice triggers and can get you a bit spoiled when you go to something like a striker fired or a double action, single action. So keep that in mind. 22 trainers. I know Taurus came out with one recently. By all reports, that's pretty cool. The Glock came out with one recently. The 44, I believe. A lot of reports on that being not a very good gun. to say it politically. This is a Sig Mosquito. Walther came out with one. There have been a bunch. I'm not a big fan of them for training guns for self-defense. My experience, and the experience of a lot of people, they're not terribly reliable. And 22s, outside of specifically built 22s like the Ruger and the Victory, is they're not reliable. There's a lot of little things you've got to do to make that gun reliable with that caliber. As Armorer once told me, 22s are dirty by nature. And if you don't keep them clean, you're going to have a problem. So keep that in mind. Now there's a booger on that old, not very reliable gun. Oh well. Here is your dedicated 22, 1911. This one's made by Kimber. I think they've discontinued this model, which is a shame. Magazines go in the mag pouch. All the controls are in the same spot. Same sight picture. This and the conversion are my recommendations if you have to practice with 22s. Again, it all comes down to your discipline and getting into your stance, getting into your grip, and working the trigger consistently. Recommendations if you have to train with 22s, especially with the conversion, is get there, start a cold drill with your centerfire, be it the 5x5 test from Bill Wilson or whatever you decide you want to standardize on. Run it cold, then go to 22, do your training and practice, then before you leave, run a couple more drills with centerfire. That way you know if you've gotten into the bad habit of standing up straight, poor grip, or working the trigger real hard. That's my recommendation, but again, for the most part, use them sparingly. I still love 22 handguns. They are excellent guns to take to the range and shoot and enjoy yourself, get marksmanship training on. But if self-defense is your goal, put more money into self-defense stuff than 22s. That's my opinion on it. I've watched a lot of people go down that road of I'm practicing with a 22 and keeping my skills sharp. Okay, well, let's run some drills, but I want you to do it with your actual centerfire handgun, and all of a sudden their accuracy, their speed is not there. They're going, what's going on? And I went, well, you shot 4,000 rounds with 22, but only 10 with your 45. I think I know what the problem is. You've wasted all that time and money and energy not learning anything. So keep that in mind. It may seem like I'm really hard on 22s. I'm not. I love them. They're excellent guns for competition, or yes, even for practice as far as marksmanship and training as far as safety training and marksmanship training. But when it comes to self-defense, I wouldn't. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.